Hi, welcome to a glimpse into my moment. Happy Mother's Day. It is 12:07 a.m. Boom, baby. Why? Why am I such a night owl and such a morning person? I do so good of getting 8 hours of sleep for a few days, and then my sleep schedule will get kind of messed up. And let's be honest, a lot of that has to do with healing. Healing is fucking hard. It's hard because no matter how much progress you make, I mean, something, some tiny little thing can trigger you, and you have a little more work to do all of a sudden. And that, my sweet, sweet friends, was the journey of my life the day before Mother's Day. Mother's Day. 5 kids. Amazing 5 kids. One little baby in heaven. Oh, little moment of silence there for him. It's a lot. It is a lot to overcome the loss of a child. It is a lot to pull children out of domestic abuse, and it is a lot to break learned abuse behaviors in your children. For you to commit so deeply, so soundly in your soul that the abuse stops with you. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't their right to fix it. But it's mine, and I will not allow it to continue. That resolve, that stubborn resolve that I have, that we all have in some areas of our life, right? We all have some area where we just won't give in. We will not give an inch. Well, for me, that is healing. For breaking patterns of learned abusive behaviors in myself and my children, and self-abusive behaviors in myself. Let me clarify. Self-abusive behaviors in my children and external abusive behaviors in some of my children. Unlearning what is their normal is a really in-depth process. And it's one that I take very seriously. In fact, you could call it a job. Holy hell. Seems like lately it's almost a full-time job. The last year, since last Mother's Day. Well, before last Mother's Day, but I guess this is just our Mother's Day follow-up check-in. Last year on Mother's Day, if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it, because it was such, if you want to, please go back and listen to it. It was such an eye-opening epiphany for me to realize, accept, and step into my role in the abuse, my role in my children's suicidal ideology, my role in their self-harm, my role in the panic attack. We've had one panic attack in our children, in my family, my children. In the drugs, the theft, the abusive behaviors, the self-worthlessness, the self-hate, the self-destruction. I've worked hard at owning my role in it and stepping beyond that, leading them beyond that. They've seen a lot. Less than some kids, more than others. They're good kids, and I am a very lucky mama. today, yesterday, because remember, it's midnight, so I haven't done too much in the last 12 minutes. Yesterday was a lovely day. Kids are with dad, and I honestly did a lot of self-care. I have just been a little bit run down from the allergic reaction to an inhaler and the a virus, not the virus, but a virus. But both of those things hit at once, and it just knocked me for a loop. When you are healing, when you are participating in therapy, when you are doing deep work on yourself and on your family, it is going to be, I mean, let's get real, it's going to exhaust you sometimes. It is going to wear you out, and you are going to have to create some space and time for you to heal. That's a hard thing for most of us, right there. Allowing ourselves some space and time to get healthy. Sometimes getting healthy just starts with getting more rest, with making rest a priority. When you're resting in a state of hypersensitive pre-PTSD, that is not resting. And I feel like that's where I have been, in that slightly alert, unable to fully sleep. When I sit and I actually do some breathing techniques and breathing exercises, I actually can feel muscles in my body relax. And when I make that a part of my routine multiple times a day, when I really focus my energies on making that a part of my day, I'm always surprised at how much tension I keep locked within myself. So before we go to break, take a moment and just breathe deep. Breathe in through your nose. And as you exhale through your mouth, let your shoulders drop. I'm going to lead us into break. Practice that deep breathing a couple more times, 3, 4, 5 more times. Each time, let your body relax just a little bit more. Even if you're driving, you can relax a little bit. Stick with me. We're going to talk about healing, self-care, and showing up for yourself, and what that means when somebody hurts your feelings, when somebody attacks you, when somebody is not kind, when somebody doesn't respect your boundaries. So keep breathing. Join me on the other side of the break. How'd that breathing go? Did you relax a little bit? Could you tell a difference? If you couldn't tell a difference, are you breathing? Okay, I'm totally kidding. But that was funny. Oh, if you can't tell a difference, maybe you are already pretty in control of your self-care, and that's kudos to you, man. I am not. Okay, let's get real about this fucked up week. So, what do you do when somebody tramples all over you? When they hurt your feelings, when they stomp on your boundaries, when they treat you like you are dirt? What do you do? And let's also have a little truth bomb here. If you are breaking a cycle of abuse, if you are shutting narcissists out of your life, if you are breaking a toxic cycle of people pleasing, you're going to piss people off. And every now and then, even though you've done so much hard work, It's gonna sting. It's gonna sting. And what do you do when it stings? And what do you do when it doesn't? So this week I've had, well, the last 8, 9 days, I have had 2 incidents where I held boundaries and I left those incidents. I suppose the best way to explain it is just a smidgen confused. Not confused in a bad way, but just in a, well, that didn't really upset me. There was no rabbit hole to go down. There was no terrifying spin, no PTSD looming. It was just the concrete knowledge that I did what was right for me. And as terrible as that was for the other person, I was okay with it because it was what I needed to do for Nita. It was new. It was not scary. And it's something that I have been working really hard at with intentional work in therapy to get to the point of being able to do. But let's shift gears. Any true narcissist knows how to get to you. Right? So leave it to the one I'm divorcing. Out of the 3 attacks, the one I'm divorcing, and he'll listen to this, I'm sure. And so kudos to you, ex. You got me. It's going to make me cry. Parenting plans are only as good as the 2 people who are willing to follow them. Parenting agreements, parenting plans, court documents, whatever you want to call it. They're only as good as the people who want to follow them. And it's been a rough couple of weeks being on the same page on the few things. Having him not keep the kids longer than he's supposed to, pick up the kids when he has no right to pick up the kids. You know, those kind of things are something that we've addressed a lot over the last 2 weeks, 14, 15 days. But today was extra special. Yesterday, because again, it's now 12:21 a.m. I didn't see this text. I had been working. Actually, I started my day with a long, luxurious bath and some self-care. And it was lovely. It was needed. I just felt run down and tired, and I couldn't get my mind in the right spot to be creative for writing. So I took a bath, did some self-care, returned some messages, did some posting, did a little bit of writing, and it must have been around 4:30, 5 o'clock. I looked at my phone and I had missed a message. I'd missed several messages because I had been working on other stuff, so I hadn't looked at my phone. Anyway, there is a message from my ex there with 4 beautiful pictures of my daughter, who just turned 12, and her bestie. I love the 2 of them so much. And he had sent me these pictures, which was kind. Thank you for those pictures. That was really kind. And I immediately knew what they were, and immediately I felt the tears hit, and I felt the lump in my throat hit. Because my daughter had her very first day with her bestie refereeing, and they had on their little soccer referee uniforms, and they had gone and refereed a game or games, or I don't really know, but I wasn't told that she had gotten booked to referee, so I didn't get to go watch. And just like that, that abusive fuck got past all my work for about 3 minutes. So there you go. There you go, abusive person. You fucker. You got me. You got me. You excluded me from a major moment that we have been working towards since she could kick a ball in front of her feet. So for about, I think she's known she was going to referee for about 9 years. And I was purposefully excluded from it. And it hurt. I'm not going to lie. It was mean. And it was cruel. And that is the fucked up part of divorcing an abusive, narcissistic person. Man or woman, doesn't fucking matter. You are going to get fucked over sometimes. And you have to just sit within it, move through it, and get the fuck over it. And that's exactly what I did. I'll be honest, I don't even know that he has the capacity to know that was mean, that was a really mean thing to do. I have no idea at this point if this person even understands that was cruel. That it seemed, is calculated, vicious, and mean. And that's hard because I am not a mean person. That's why, I guess that's why I made the perfect people-pleasing person. Because I'm nice and I'm kind. And even when people are mean, I think of ways to not be mean, to not resent, to not retaliate, to not hate. Because what good is that going to do? When you get your feelings stomped on, no matter how far down the road that you are, take a moment, lean into it, give yourself the space to grieve it. Crap. To have some tears around it. It hurts. I feel like I missed out on a major milestone of her life. Like her first steps. And for a stay-at-home mom, even though I'm not technically a stay-at-home mom anymore, but I am. And I always will be. It's a pretty big loss that somebody willingly robbed me of. And so that one of the 3 that happened over the last week to 8, 9 days is just fucking mean. Fuck you. He'll never get the satisfaction unless he listens to this of me saying that to him. But I did let him know that I wasn't noticed that she had gotten games, that she had gotten scheduled. And so just know, as you are going through your growth, that every now and then something's going to pull the carpet out from under you. But the difference is that the spin, the fall, the recovery takes less and less and less time. It just does. The one thing that happened this time that I actually wasn't surprised at all about, I just allowed it to happen. I was so tired already. I mean, I was just so tired. I just have not been getting good sleep. Off and on, I get good sleep. But this last week has been particularly, I had sick kids. I had a kid home, 2 kids home every day, and some of them had poison oak, and they just weren't feeling good. And so the whole house was just off. And when your house is off with kids, it's just a little more work, a little more exhausting, a little bit more taxing on everybody. And everybody out there is going to know what I mean. I do not need to explain that. But it's taken its toll, and this Saturday, today, I just feel it through and through. And it's been a big week. Lots of meetings, doctor's appointments, therapy. I mean, just a big, big week. And this Saturday, it just hit me that I was tired. I was tired before I got that text. I was tired before I looked at those photos that were so beautiful of her and her bestie. And I was so tired before the grief of missing out on this massive milestone that, quite honestly, I have worked really hard to get all of my children to. I've even put on referee training courses for my community. I've worked with the referee assigner, or the referee trainer, state trainer. I've put a lot of work into getting there. So to be denied that was mean. So I retract my earlier, I don't know if this person even knows they do it. They knew they do it. See, that's me. That's my thing I have to work on. That fucking thing in my brain that says people won't be mean to me. But that naive idiocy of kindness loop, that empath, that trained empath, God, she's a fool. That person did that on purpose to punish me for whatever reason. Who knows? Probably these damn podcasts. Who cares? But it hurts. And it's not kind. And I have a really hard time understanding unkind things. Let's go back to that breathing for a moment. Want to join me? It's calming, huh? Breathe through the break. I'll catch you on the other side. We'll unpack those other two things that happened. They have a better ending, though. I didn't feel so... Well, I just felt successful. Stick around. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I want to give a quick shout out to whatsup.org. Go check us out on the web. We are normalizing mental health conversations over there and doing really great advocacy work. I hope that you'll be a part of the conversation, even if you're just a part of the conversation silently. There's some shirts, merchandise, anything that you can do to spread the word, to tell people that you're taking a stand against shame, judgment, stigma, all those things that lock people inside of abusive spaces, even if the abusive space is the self-harm and the mean things that you do to yourself. We have a hard time loving on ourselves as humans. Well, for me, it was how I was raised. So, shout out, whatsup.org. Go check us out over there. About 7-8 days ago, I had a run-in with a lifetime narcissistic personality. And by that statement, I mean they will be in my life for my lifetime. Let's get real. You have family. You're not going to be able to, live this utopic life with never having an aggressor in your life. And you can shift and change as much as you want, but unless you are much stronger than the average person, it's likely you'll still have a few people in your life that aren't always kind, healthy, nice. They're horrible. I try not to be too down a rabbit hole. Anyhow, so this conversation starts, And they come to me and they are telling me about these items that I have put in their area, in their room, that they don't need them. And I don't know why those are. Why are those even there? Hey, I don't need those. Why don't you go ahead and take them back? I just don't even know why they're there. In that moment, so keep in mind, end of a day, I'm pretty exhausted, and everything in me that is working on healing went to on mode. It went to on mode. And I am at the beginning of being gaslit. So this person is telling me they never asked for these things. And I know full well they did. And I am not about to be the receiver of their gaslighting. I will not be made to feel crazy. And so I said, well, no, you asked for those. And we agreed on the number that would be in there. And I put them in there. Or actually, I had one of the kids put them in there. But yeah, those are yours. That was the conversation. That's what we agreed to. Keeping it light, keeping it airy, keeping it nice. No, I did not. I did not ask for those. You're wrong. All right, it's on. And it was on. And not in a mean way, but I just set my boundary hard. No, I'm not wrong. For 3 weeks, I chased around kids to make that happen. So we're not going to sit here and have this conversation. So they come back that I'm completely wrong. They're angry now. They are attacking and pushing on me how wrong I am. And this is no longer, please don't mistake what I'm saying. This is not about being right or wrong. This is about an abuse victim, an abuse survivor, Nita, no longer giving in to a dominant personality, no longer caving her truth to a dominant personality. And it's such a stupid reason why we're arguing. It is such a stupid reason. So the attack comes harder, louder, stronger, more vicious in its verbalness, telling me how wrong I am. And I said, no, I am not. I know exactly what we agreed to, what you said, and I've worked really hard to make it happen. So, no. And I'm not taking them back. At that point, this person says to me, "You're gaslighting me. That is gaslighting." And I thought, like in the back of my subconscious mind, I thought, that's really interesting that she thinks I'm gaslighting her when she is actually gaslighting me. Right? And in the subconscious mind, it starts to click away back there. Like, what on earth is that about? In the reality, in the moment, what my reply to this person was when she yelled at me, "You are gaslighting me." I said, "No, I'm telling you my truth. Now get out of my house." I held my boundary. I was firm. I was direct. I did not yell. I did not go crazy. I didn't feel crazy after. I didn't even get upset. 6 months ago, 8 months ago, no, not 6, 8 to 10 months ago, I would have most likely texted my therapist real quick. 10, when are we? We're in May. Yeah, 8 to 10 months ago, I would have maybe had to text my therapist about that just to check in. Am I crazy? Did I do the right thing? This is what happened. But I didn't. I didn't feel anything. I actually sat there on that sofa area and continued what I was working on. because I was also working on something and got interrupted. I think that's really rude. I think that's really rude that people don't say, "Hey, can I have a minute of your time?" They just talk right over what you're doing. That's rude. That is rude. I'm just throwing that out there as a personal pet peeve. Anywho, I held my boundary, and that person got out of my house, and I never took back the stuff. It wasn't about the stuff. It was about the fact that this person was willing to stand in my home and try to change reality, to try to make me crazy, to gaslight me. Stepping away from that, I had to really think about, just for a moment, actually, it didn't take long. I had to, though, open up that box of this person saying I had gaslit them. So now this person has turned me into the abuser. Isn't that interesting? That's literally where my brain went. My brain went to dissecting. Why on earth did this person say I had gaslit them? Because clearly they had gaslit me. And then, this was all within like a span of 18 seconds. It dawns on me, to her, I did gaslight her. To her, I did gaslight her. Isn't that interesting? To her, I became the abuser. I became the terrible, terrible person. And then it kind of dawned on me, this thing that I have been quasi avoiding for quite a while, that abusers have their truth too. They have their truth too. And when we pretend as the victim, as the receiver of abuse, that we're righteous or that we have to stay in that victimhood, when we don't care for ourselves enough to heal, and when we don't do the hard work to heal, we're missing that utopia space where we can literally look at it from, this is my truth. But that abuser has their truth too, because they don't have the tools and the skill set to look beyond their own wants, needs, and desires. They don't have the skill set to look beyond themselves. So of course it's going to look to them like we're the bad guy. But we have our truth, and we get to hold on to our truth. We don't have to be right, because it is self-loving and self-caring to protect ourselves, to protect our boundaries, to honor our truth, to be authentic to ourselves, to be unapologetically us, and hold our boundaries no matter the storm that rains upon us. The epiphany moment of me recognizing that that person had their truth too, it actually strengthened my ability to withstand the next storm that happened to me. And to detach myself emotionally from all of it, because it's not my problem. Their needs, their wants are not my problem. They don't understand me, and they never will understand me again, because I will never be a people pleaser again. Ever. Take a moment. Practice your deep breathing. We'll take a break, and I'll come back and I'll tell you about that final attack. And it was ugly. It was loud, it was public, and it was ugly. Being attacked is ugly. Being attacked when all you're doing is confusing them can get a little out of control. Stick around. I'll see you on the other side of the break. Hey, how'd that breathing go? I am envisioning a couple of you like rolling your eyes or bugging your eyes at me like, oh my gosh, let it go. And I'm envisioning others of you going, oh, it went really good. I feel better. Either way, thanks for coming back. So that final attack, ooh, yikes, it was a doozy. It it still surprises me a little bit. It doesn't upset me or hurt me, but it still just is a little bit of a mind boggler because I'm only just now in my journey of breaking really toxic people pleasing lifestyle choices. And let's get real. I did not know that I was a people pleaser my whole life. I did not know these were toxic things that I was heaping upon myself. But now I do know. And now I have a responsibility to myself, to my children, to my immediate family, to everything that I want to become and do, to knock it off. And knock it off, I am. Well, heck. I suppose that if I'm really honest with myself, I knew something like this was going to come. And I believe there's about 3 or 4 more people that something similar may happen with. And it may not be over with this person. I got a text and I was asked to do something in a text. I got this text at the 5, 6, 7 o'clock hour. I didn't see it until close to 7. It probably came in somewhere between 5 and 6. I had started my morning at 7 something, getting in to see a specialist on this illness that I have had, the allergic reaction and the viral thing, the lung thing, all of that, just that mess that has bogged me down for weeks. Made me sick. So I start my morning early with that. Then I do some grocery shopping real quick. I run home, grab a kid. We go to therapy. 3 hours of therapy. And then my kiddo and I are having some after therapy time, right? Some de-stress time. And then we end our day with just some general shopping, some things that we needed. And so it was just a long, long, long day. And I had an 8 a.m. meeting the next morning, or 8:40 meeting the next day, and got out of that meeting. And the person who sent the text, who was asking me to do something that I saw super late at night, and I just didn't have it in me to respond because there was no way I was going to do this. And I have already set that boundary with that person verbally twice. In addition, I have set that same boundary. I will not be involved. I will not be engaged. I will not support publicly. I will not talk about this with anybody. I will not. With 5 people. 4 of those people have respected my boundary. One of those people have said, I wouldn't even have asked you. But one of those people has asked me twice since I set the verbal boundaries. And so anyway, I get caught up by that person asking me if I got the message. And I said yes. I was just got it a little late at night, and I was going to respond a little later because I need to, I just wanted some time to get my head around really how to answer you, because I'm not going to do that. And well, even before I say I'm not going to do it, the person asks me, so you're going to do it? Are you going to do that? And I'm honestly, I'm stunned because I'm not going to do that. And so I say I'm not going to do that. And the battering starts right there. This person catches up to me. They are on my heels. I feel very threatened, very like, you're in my space. You're in my bubble. This is not okay. You're just a little too close to me. It is uncomfortable. My PTSD is starting to like click. And and you're not showing very much kindness because I have said no. So there should be no more conversation. No is a complete sentence, people. It is a complete sentence. I don't need to explain it. I don't need to justify it. No is a complete sentence. Except to this person. To this person who recently I have pulled away from because they are unable to see my boundaries or hear my boundaries, and really just needs to tell me what I need to do with my life. And I cannot have that. My life is my life for the first time ever. Come on, you guys. I am fucking 51 years old. 51. 51, and I'm just now getting my feet under me and making my own decisions. Nobody, nobody, nobody gets the right to tell me what I should do, what I need to do, what I have to do. And when that happens, when people do that, and I am not being heard in my boundaries, well, I'm doing what's right for me. Well, I'm doing what's right for me. Well, I'm doing what's right for me. I'm done. I'm just done saying that. I'm going to step away because you're not hearing me. You're not trying to support me in Nita making her own choices. Right? Because you only knew Nita as a people pleaser who listened to what you said, tried her hardest to represent you and to be a part of whatever it was that you needed. And Nita who had no backbone, no sense of self, no self-preservation. So this person who is now attacking me on the street, standing in front of me, blocking my pathway to my vehicle, who is being loud and demanding about my need to do what they want me to do, it is weird. And they are not taking no for an answer. No simply isn't good enough because I used to do these things and I have changed and something is wrong with Nita. And all I keep saying is you cannot hear my boundaries, so I have stepped away. And I will not get involved in this. But why? But why? But why? But why? I need. But why? But why? You haven't done this. You have pulled away. You have the blame upon me. The push for me to do what they wanted me to do. The unwillingness to hear that I cannot give them what they want me to give them. I will not. I am unable. That my life is not in a spot to create or invite chaos. And their unwillingness for me to stay in a place of safety and health, knowing full well that I have PTSD, depersonalization, fucking panic attacks. Do you know how scary depersonalization is? If I hadn't had a tether to myself, it's that spot where people go to kill themselves. Like it really, really is. I'm not kidding. That was just a couple months ago. Then I've been incredibly fucking sick. How dare you? How fucking dare you corner me on the goddamn street, block my access to my car, and then launch your warheads of shame and questioning my right to fucking say no. How dare you? How dare you? You have no respect for me. You have no care for me, no love for me, no compassion for me at all. And through all of that, I did not get upset. I felt my body a little quivery, a little shaky, very uneasy. I wasn't sure where this was going because I could clearly see I wasn't going to get away from this person. And their wants, their needs, their insistence that I step up and help them at their level of wanting help. It was pretty loud, and it was in a completely inappropriate place, and the person would not even stop when I asked and asked that this is not the right time or place or location to be having this conversation. They wouldn't stop. Long about then, a couple people come by and interrupt, and thank goodness, right? Get a little break, and they chat, and we have a lovely conversation, independent. There's two people. I honestly think these two people had to have heard the volume, if nothing else, of the conversation and interjected, trying to give us some space, some time. And so we visit with these people independently, 4 feet apart. And finally, I'm like, I have to go to the person I'm talking to. I'm like, I have to go. I have a kid at home with poison oak. I have another kid at home, you know, doing COVID schoolwork. I got to go. And so I move past that person. I'm only 6-7 feet away from my car, and God, I'm a really tall person with long legs, and I'm striving to get to my car. And this person who wants what they want, who's pissed off at me because I won't give them what they want, breaks away from the person that they're talking to and gets in front of me again. Only this time they're standing a little bit in the road, in the street. I have to actually tell this person, like, what are you doing? You're standing in the street. That just isn't safe. I won't even continue this, like anything. I won't even acknowledge this conversation until you move out of the street. They move out of the street. They are no longer standing and blocking my way to my car, but they are demanding to know what is wrong with me. What has changed with Nita? Why won't Nita do what they want him to do? Because it's just not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. And they're just simply not understanding what has changed in Nita. And they're not listening to me at all. They're not hearing me at all. They're not seeing me at all. They're standing there, heart on their sleeve, telling me how much they love me, and they just don't understand what is wrong with me. Why can't I do this? Why can't I give them what they need and what they want? And they are not hearing that the ask is too big and that I have set a boundary and that everybody around me knows this boundary except for this person. So that tells me not that I didn't set the boundary with this person, but that this one person is unable to hear Nita. And they continue this it was an attack. This attack on me. Because they just want their need met so bad, and they're so hurt that I will not meet the need. I cannot bring any more chaos into my life. But they don't care about that. They don't give a fuck about that. Their need is more important than my health, than my personal safety, than my healing, anything. And I realize this person still isn't hearing me because they're still attacking me in front of the same place on the same street that I've asked them to stop. And I've asked them to stop. There's no need to even have a conversation. My boundary is set. It's a no. There's no conversation to have. I don't need to explain that. I don't have to justify that. But you should know better. You've been a large part of my life. You should know better, but you're unable to look past your need. That's what clarified for me in this moment. There was no anger. There was no hurt. There was no sadness. I already knew this was coming. I already knew this person couldn't see me because I had to pull away because they can't see and respect my boundaries. They have to tell me what I need to do with my life, and when I don't listen, I get chastised. I get told, well, that's what's going to happen if you do that. Yeah. Finally, standing in front of my vehicle, too close to the road, this person is escalating, and I getting louder again. And I said, again, you can't hear my boundaries. You're not setting boundaries with me, Nita. And I said, yes, I am. Exactly like right now. I have set the same boundary with you for since we got out to the side of the building. I have set the same damn boundary. This is not where we will talk about this. And yet you just keep running right over it, just trampling right over it, like you can't even see it. At that point, the person straightens up, looks like I've slapped him in the face, and says fine or something. I didn't catch exactly what they said. I think it was fine. And turns and walks right into the road. Thank fucking God there was no traffic. I got in my car. I drove off. That person got in their car. They drove off. And as I crossed from the stop sign into the next area, it hit me. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't upset. I wasn't crying. There was no rabbit hole to fall down or chase down. There was no PTSD swirling. It literally was calm and peaceful. I had honored myself. I had shown up for Nita in a way that was rare, in a way that was new, in a way that was easy to do because I have been working so hard at choosing Nita. It was a pivotal moment in deepening the relationship within, honoring the relationship within, in self-care, self-love, self-everything. In that moment of being attacked in public, loudly attacked, being told that what they were asking wasn't too much for me to give. Who the hell do you think you are to tell me if it's too much to give or not? I am smart enough to decide what is right for me and what is not right for me. Anybody who is asking you to vacate yourself like that, who is unwilling to accept no as the final answer, needs to get off your path. Stick around and we'll finish up this conversation because a couple of important things happened when I unpacked that. Not emotionally unpacked it, but just explored with my friend. What does that actually mean that I didn't get all upset? What does that mean that I actually could look at both of these two people who attacked me and I could see from their perspective how I was the bad person? How in what do you call it? In attack one, I was trying to think of the word attack. Sorry. In attack one, Nita was the person gaslighting. In attack two, Nita was the person being mean and cruel and not showing up to help somebody. So in both of those instances, when I held my boundary, I chose Nita. It did not abandon me. The other two people walked away thinking that I'm a terrible person. I'll catch you on the other side of the break. Stick around. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Did you practice your breathing? Oh, what a experience those three things have been. Little to zero, like on the scale of 1 to 10, the emotional hurt, the reeling effect, however you want to put it, that effect was like, on the two attacks, honestly, like a 1. because I still gave it some thought. I still explored it. I still had to, go back and talk to somebody about it to understand why it all was clicking into place, right? So there was still a little bit of a abnormalness about it. With that last one, or the first one talked about, but the most recent one with the soccer refereeing, yeah, that didn't stall me out for hours. I was able within less than 5 minutes. I decided this person is just mean, and they're going to be mean to me forever. And whether he knew he was doing it or not, that is what happened, and it hurt. But it also didn't send me down a rabbit hole. It didn't trigger a PTSD attack, but it did make me give in to, you know what, you just need a nap. You're super overtired. Get some rest. Just lay down. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep, right? And I did. So I know that I was super exhausted. So I suppose that it was, maybe in that 3 to 4 range, because I didn't have to journal about it. I didn't have to do anything other than accept that it was a mean thing from an abusive man that I am still trying to divorce in COVID court. And it is one of the few mechanisms of control that he still can have. And have it he will. So the recovery time frame on those was pretty quick, and I'm pretty proud of that. That is evidence that when you do the hard work in therapy of learning about yourself, loving yourself, finding your flaws, finding and embracing your darkness, bringing those together so that you can truly emanate light, that's powerful. And it will, oh my gosh, it will help you to become a healthier, more capable person. And don't deny a nap every now and then. I rarely give in to napping, but this week I have taken one micro nap and one nap, and they just gave me a little reset, a little brain reset, which is good. And when you're healing is exhausting. Let's just not kid ourselves. It is exhausting. And sometimes it isn't anything other than you need a little extra. So I took the first two things, and one of them I think happened before therapy, so I was actually able to talk to my therapist about that. And we just talked about that to an abusive personality, yeah, they're not going to be able to see what they did to you because their fragileness that keeps them in that state of always having to be right, always having to be in control, always having to have the upper hand, never, ever, ever being the one who can give in a conversation, right? That fragileness will always, always make somebody else the bad guy. They will never be wrong. They will never lose. They will never get to that vulnerable space because their fragile ego, their whatever, will not allow it. Their mechanism, their protective safety mechanism for being them, keeps them where they are. And when the other one happened, it didn't happen until later in the week. And so I haven't been back to therapy to talk to my therapist about it yet. And I will unpack it with her because she needs to know what happened and how I handled it so that I can micro adjust what I did, or I can just seed into what I did was great. And that becomes my new building blocks and normal. But I did unpack it with my best friend, and he listened and gave me some great tools. within a day, he had come back and said that if somebody can't sit with you in respectful space of your no, if they cannot just go, well, I don't understand why you can't do that for me, but I love you and I respect you and I accept that you're saying no. It honestly, it hurts my feelings. It hurts me, but I don't understand it, but I love you and I respect you, so I accept it. If they can't say it in a something similar or equivalent to that, in a nice tone, in a respectful manner, they have zero respect for you. They have zero care for you, zero love for you. They are just one more person who has been accustomed to your people pleasing. The other thing that he taught me right after I explained this situation to him was this very, very powerful sentence. Because when I was locked in that defensive mode of the battle, right? I'm being attacked and I am defending my right to say no. You can't hear my boundaries. No, I am not going to do that. No, I will not do that. I cannot bring any more chaos in my life. No, 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 you can't hear my boundaries. You can't hear my boundaries. You can't hear my boundaries. No, no, no. When I was locked in that battle, one of the things, this tool that he gave me that may have been of help, and I will try it if I ever need to defend my right to say no so vehemently again, it's this simple sentence. And he has actually said this with me before. And when he just simply couldn't understand where I was coming from. But he sat with me in my chaos, and there was no anger from either of us. There was confusion from both of us, but no anger. That's the difference. Because there is respect and mutual respecting love of our friendship. There's no need for either side to be right. Both sides are allowed to be just confused and park it. And park it for what it is. And move past it, should you have the strength and courage to do that. Next time, what I will say is, I understand that you don't understand what I am saying to you. I do understand that. But that is not my problem. Let's say it again. I understand that you do not understand me, that you do not understand what I'm saying to you. And that is not my problem. Powerful, isn't it? Very simple statement that powerfully protects your right to say no, respectfully places them in a position to accept that you're not going to get on the same page, that you know that they can't understand what you're saying. And having had that said to me before, it is a diffuser. Because it's a clarifying moment. If you really are standing there in front of somebody that you respect and love, and you are saying to them, whatever it is, whatever your truth is, whatever your confusion is, whatever your need is, and they say back to you, I understand that you can't understand what I'm saying to you, and that is not my problem. It puts everything back on you. It puts all of your chaos back on you. And it's hard to take. It's maybe even, you could see it like when it happened to me. There was a moment where it felt a little unfair. It felt a little unfair. But it made me step away, and it made me think about my hurts, my expectations, my everything. My everything. everything that I was bringing into that conversation. And again, it was not attacking. It was direct and honest. This, what I just experienced, was attacking and horrible and public and inappropriate and trampling over all of my boundaries that this person has never been able to hear. And since I've only been setting boundaries for a little tiny while, it's completely new and foreign to most everybody in my path. So don't stop setting your boundaries. Set them hard. Set them when you need to. Build them into your normal self-care routine. Because every time that you vacate yourself, your needs, when you need to, could be anything. I mean, maybe you don't want cereal for breakfast, but you say, yes, I'll have cereal for breakfast. And then you just feel a little resentful because you want to just toast, right? Every time that you vacate yourself from the tiny, tiny, tiny things to the really giant things, where that people pleasing, that showing up for somebody else and selling out yourself is going to cause you chaos. It's going to put you in the middle of a storm. You tell yourself that you are unworthy of love, that you are unworthy, that you are unimportant, that you are unpowerful to yourself. And if you cannot be powerful and worthy to yourself, well, you never will be to anybody else. And I will not live my life that way ever again. And my hope and my prayer for each and every one of you is that you find a path to self-love, to self-care, to self-enrichment that puts you on a plane of living life to the absolute fullest for you. Because when you are living life to the fullest for you, everybody around you, your family, your tribe, the people who matter the most, the people who see you, who respect you, without you asking for it, without you demanding it, all of those people begin to shine and glow and emulate the amazing trajectory that you are creating. And that is unlocking your power. That is unlocking your light. That is unlocking and gifting self-care, self-love to all of those people. Because they watch you. They're seeing that. They're seeing what you're doing that's successful. Anyway, what a heck of a week, right? Not normal. Those aren't normal things. It's not normal to get attacked on the street. That's a negative, extraordinary thing. It is not normal to be told it's not that big of a deal for you to do this for me. Nobody gets to decide that. Who the hell do you think you are? Who do you actually think that you are? What gives you the right? Or do you approach life with everybody like that? Because the other two people in my life who are abusive do. So do you? Find ways throughout your day to evidence to yourself that you are valuable, that you matter, that protecting your space, your sanity is okay. Because you have every right to say no whenever you want to say no. You have every right to say yes whenever you want to say yes. You get to be whoever it is that you are. And as that person emerges, embrace them. Embrace all their quirky, awesome, crazy, taboo-filled things and live your life. Keyword your. Live your life. Live life for you. Let your light shine, and everything else will fall into place. Giant shout out to all of the people on my glimpse journey. Every one of you is amazing. You are warriors. I am so proud of you. Shout out to all the men reaching out to me, breaking out of domestic abuse. While there is shame and stigma and judgment around women in domestic abuse, it is manifested 100 times worse on the men. Society does not believe women, and society really does not believe men. Keep being amazing. Have a powerful week. Share the episode. Keep listening. Keep giving me your feedback. It is so loved. It is so welcomed. It is so appreciated. You guys are amazing warriors and rock stars in my world. And I love the journey that we are on together. Keep an eye out. Another episode will drop on Wednesday, every Monday, super early in the morning. Every Wednesday, super early in the morning, Glimpse podcast episodes are going to be coming out. Have an amazing day, you guys. Make great choices and breathe through your journey. Have a great day.